All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. The Alfred Hitchcock classic, Strangers on a Train, where two strangers swap murders to remove motive and keep from being caught, was the last thing we were expecting when Sharon came to and found Heather dead at her feet. We knew, well, hoped, she couldn't have done it, but the twist that revealed Jordan and Ian were behind it all in some grand plan for revenge wasn't even remotely on our radar. We're still figuring out what they're planning and why, but one thing's certain. Despite Ian's attempts to take charge of this little diabolical duo, Jordan is not planning on letting him forget that they're a team and not mastermind and henchwoman. But now that Phyllis is comatose in the hospital, caught up in this unexpected revenge scheme, we're starting to get a little worried that there might be even more villains out there waiting in the wings. We've now gotten to a point where, in Phyllis's mind, Sharon has tried to ruin Daniel's life, Griffith told Sauditi. And she's convinced Sharon tried to kill her on top of it, which means Phyllis is just going to be a firebrand of anger and desire to see Sharon pay. Until something throws another wrench into that. Get ready, I've got a couple more wrenches to throw. Another wrench, or rather, another couple. Since we've already got a villainous team up, we can't help but wonder if this is just the beginning. Maybe something won't be throwing a wrench in, much as someone. Is the deadly duo about to become a terrible trio? Actually, we suppose they kind of already were, seeing as how it started with Cameron haunting Sharon's psyche. Heck, we already suspected that they couldn't pull this off by themselves. But if Ian and Jordan aren't the bad guys teaming up, then we might want to start going through the list of Newman enemies. And oh boy, we've got plenty to choose from. There are folks who hate Victor, Nikki, Nick, Victoria, Sharon, the list goes on. So we thought we'd go through a list of folks who might have reason to help Ian and Jordan make our favorite Genoa City residents pay. Or how about Ryan McNeil's ex, Trisha Dennison? She went after Victoria to get Ryan back, locking her up on their wedding day and taking Vic's place at the altar. Oh, and she also framed Victor for rape so well, he was locked up and tossed into prison. Luckily, he escaped in time to rescue his daughter and throw her in the mental institution. And then there was Matt Clark, who raped Sharon, beat Nick, and a few years later, came back to town with plastic surgery, using an unwitting Trisha as his accomplice. After she landed him in the hospital by crashing their car, he pulled out his own breathing tube and killed himself just so he could frame Nick for murder. But he could have just faked his own death to frame Nick instead. If we want to head even farther back, there's Rick Darrows, who we haven't seen in, 40 years. He nearly married Nikki, intent on killing her on taking all her money, but Victor put a stop to that, earning a spear gun to the groin in the process. He last escaped the sanitarium and ran off with Eve to Europe, and we never heard from him again. If he ever met Eve's crazy sis, Jordan, that could be all the connection we need. If that wrench is tied more to Phyllis though, that could be a whole other can of worms. Remember when Sheila got plastic surgery to look like Phyllis, only to be shot and killed? Well, before she died, she claimed they shot the wrong one. And seeing as Sheila's currently living her best life in Los Angeles, looking very much like herself, what if there was a fake Sheila, pretending to be a fake Phyllis, who's looking for revenge against the redhead? Oh, that one makes our heads spin a bit, but let's face it. Phyllis has made plenty of enemies over the years.